We're friends, right? We can just sit down and have a civilized discussion about stuff, right? That's what I would like to think with my audience. If you're not a part of my audience, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every now and then we get suit and tie and become gentlemen and ladies, and we discuss things, and then sometimes we just crash out about stuff because, you know, it has to happen at times. But this is not a crash out moment whatsoever at all. This is more of a suit and tie. Let's sit down and discuss this like gentlemen and ladies, okay? Because so basically Red Ribbon Army Piccolo was overperforming, not underperforming, overperforming, and they decided that it was now that they needed to announce, since he's been out the same time as Beast Gohan, that they needed to nerf him. Now, I'm gonna have to sit back and think about this for a little bit, and I've come up with some things that I wanted to say for this, and not necessarily extremely harsh or anything along the lines of that, but here's a couple of things I want to say at the beginning of this. Is that one, if they nerfed him, then maybe it's because of a situation like, and I'm gonna completely flip this video, because normally I was expecting a still Cell Max for part 2, and if we do get a Cell Max for part 2, interesting. I don't understand why you wanted to nerf him and be like, oh, feel the need to say, oh well, he's overperforming, we need to do something about that. I'm gonna flip and say that I think I'm in the realm of Orange Piccolo being the part 2 LR, the yellow coin LR, just for the simple fact that I think at this point in time we do need a good new slot 1 with Beast Gohan, and seeing as he does still have that support for Piccolo in his passive, it would make sense more if it is a Orange Piccolo standalone tank supporter. I'm gonna go with that over the Cell Max. Now, if it is a Cell Max, that was the initial thought. That's interesting. It's cool, because I mean they still haven't made any sort of promotion movies on either one of them being named as a second LR in this celebration. It hasn't happened, but it just strikes me that maybe they thought that this Piccolo was too good and they didn't need him being as good as he was with the support that he has, and then having a new Piccolo come in and be buffing the wazoo out of Beast Gohan. Because the thing that I'm going to say is that the fruit from the tree of mice exposed a lot about support in the game, and how support like that can just change a whole team and a whole rotation and individual cards themselves. When you give a unit a crazy amount of support, whether it's boosted with items and stuff like that, I mean that used to be one of the things back in the day that a lot of people would do, was just run. Even myself, I would just make videos where I would buff the absolute wazoo with every sort of item in the game that lets you do that, and I would be like, here's what this guy can do, and he doesn't have an easy A. This is on release, so after I'm seeing his easy A, I'm like, it's got to be almost even better than that, or around on par. But that 200% attack and defense, that really spoiled the community quite a bit on this one. And I'm not even gonna, and I'm gonna say this, I don't think Beast Gohan is dookie like a lot of people are necessarily saying. I just think that if people used him in a slot 2 situation like he was, instead of forcing him because he's a new LR in the slot 1 getting absolutely beat up by normals and especially supers, and especially before he's super attacked and stuff, then you wouldn't really have that problem. If you just had him in the slot 2 with a legit slot 1 that's doing everything, tanking all of it, whatever, in slot 1, and also giving that support to him as more, you wouldn't have a problem. You wouldn't see it that much. The people that are slandering Beast Gohan, that are actually going out here and saying that he's dog water and stuff like that, either don't have him, or again force him in the slot 1 situation and then watch him get beat up. So I think that I'm pretty much leaning over to Orange Piccolo and how this is going, because it's funny that when I made the video talking about they should buff Beast Gohan, there's a lot of people like, well, they're not gonna buff a unit like that. It just came out, yada 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 and stuff like that. And then we have we're nerfing a unit. Like, this is how quick they are to nerf a unit when a unit is overperforming. Then when it's underperforming, they usually don't. And currently right now we have Japanese players, and I mean Japanese players, not the people that play the Japanese version of Dokkan Battle. I mean legitly like Japanese players that are complaining about Beast Gohan as well too. Usually they listen to more of the Japanese audience than the Western audience when it comes to a lot of things in Dokkan. You know, if you've been here for a long time, you know how the treatment sort of goes. When you have that going, and also to put in that there's no real indication whatsoever about us getting top grossing in the Transcendent Dokkan campaign, that's one of the 3 major celebrations. This is a situation that is, well, this is a colossal failure. Like, you have Beast Gohan, which is a big name, and Dragon Ball Z, a big selling name. Beast Gohan with arguably the best animations in the game. I know there's some people that say they like certain units animations a little better. I know Evolve Vegeta's still up there. Like Super Saiyan 4, Vegeto's still there. I was just using Trunks, and I'm like, bro, that Gohan and Trunks, the Trunks part of those animations, wild still. So it's like they all have the same level of animation quality, really, but some might be just a little bit better and stuff like that. And I think Beast Gohan's is a little bit better than those. So that's why I'm saying that his is the best. Like, you have that in a unit that legitly should be like giving you top gross. I feel like at this point in time, we should almost be on our 2nd top gross. Like, genuinely speaking, I feel like we should be on our 2nd top gross. And if Beast Gohan was what we all thought he was going to be, we would be in the 2nd top grosser, because everyone would be spending their old paychecks on this unit. Now, I'm going to say this before I get out here like a civilized adult and stuff like that. Let me move this a little closer so you can hear it a little better. If the part 2 is Orange Piccolo and he's a tank supporter and he's giving Beast Gohan, or just Gohan in general, the name, if he's giving Gohan extra support, like he's already buffing super heroes, but he's giving Gohan like extra percentage of crit, and then also giving him an extra percentage of attack and defense to maybe equal out to maybe like 100%. So for instance, if it's like he gets 50% to superheroes and 2 key, but Gohan, like characters of Gohan get another 30% crit, and then also like again another 50% attack and defense to equal out to 100. That 100 and 30% crit is going to go a long way for Beast Gohan. Like, it's going to go a long way, especially when you have other units on the team that are giving support as well too. You will get close to that 200% support. So this is why I'm saying that if when I brought up the fruit, like, then you would see what all that's going to do with Beast Gohan. And then I think at that point in time, we're going to start to see the counters and then the super attacks be those wild numbers that we all wanted him to be to begin with, in the slot 2 properly where he should be when somebody else is tanking all the damage at the beginning. Like, I feel like that's how that is going to go and how that should necessarily be. But like I said, I could be wrong. They could still be on the verge of giving us a cell max. It is what it is. I still have a sneaky suspicion, and just me alone, I'm here when I think about stuff like this, is that Dokkan likes to sort of watch and wait on the reaction of the community to sort of see how they put out units and stuff like that, especially when we have a part 1 and part 2. I think they have an A choice and a B choice already ready, and then they just go with whichever one that the community would want more. Like when it's an obvious out of the units that can be the part 2, like LR, then they just already have them cooked up, and they're just like, well, let's see which one that they sort of lean on to the most, and then we'll do that. Sometimes I feel like that's the way, and I think that at this point in time, if it is Orange Piccolo, I think he's probably the B choice. And they said, oh, okay, they didn't like Beast Gohan. Okay, we'll drop him in there, let him buff and all that stuff, and Showcase come out, and then see how much better he is, and then people spin the block on Beast Gohan and summon for both of them. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm words of wisdom real quick. If it is a part 2 Orange Piccolo and he's support and tank slot 1, if he's doing that support for Gohan, if you're going to summon, make sure you summon on him first and then spin the block back on Gohan. Because if you don't get him, then don't summon for Gohan, because there'll be no point, because then you just be missing out on so much at that point in time. There's no point in that. All right, like, get him first and then do it. And if it is still a cell max, I don't understand why people think that a cell max would have support for Gohan. If anything, he's going to support super bosses, not superheroes. So like, I don't know where some people, I think some people are coping a little bit on this. don't cope on that. If he somehow did, then that to me, that would be Gohan's, not Gohan, but the Koski, the dev team, they sort of had to do it because it needed to be done to help out Beast Gohan so they could get those sales and generate that money. Because, and you know it's bad. You know it's bad when we ain't hit top grossing on one of the top 3 celebrations of the year, and it's with Beast Gohan as the headliner, and there's no talks of top grossing yet. You know it's bad. Like, son, you know it's bad. So, and I looked on the JP side, and I didn't see anything about no top grossing popping up because you know they get it first. I didn't see nothing about that at all. So I don't know what's popping off on there. I don't know if Geppy's over in a frenzy right now because he like, bro, I thought this was a shoo-in for top grosser. Bro, we all did too. Trust me, I'll tell you that right now, Geppy, we all did. But have we seen the performance? It ain't up to a lot of people's standards. Like I said, when I make that buff him that video a couple days ago, a lot of people showed up and voiced their opinions on it and talked about it with the like button, and they would let it talk. Like, it ain't just Western audience, bro, it's a Japanese audience as well too that's over there like, bro, buff him. What are you doing? Buff him. If you're nerfing a unit, you better buff a unit. So that's the way I see it. But for this, for that was kind of, that's almost a little slap in the face. It's almost disrespectful, to be quite honest. Like, when you see something like this, when they're like, oh, we about to nerf a unit that just came out because he's overperforming, bro, it's a backhand. It's not a front hand, it's a backhand. You got backhand, we all got backhand in the face, and we were like, well, what the Pikachu face? Like, what the fuck just happened? Like, we all got backhanded on this one, because if he's way worse or just a bit worse, whatever, afterwards, that still sucks. That's still like, bro, you should have just left him alone at that point in time. You leaving Beast Gohan alone. And like I said before, I can only fathom 2 things, is that either you think he's just good enough where he is right now and you don't really care for it, or there is an orange Piccolo that's going to buff the shit out of him and you like, he's good right now, just wait until the orange Piccolo comes out and buffs him. That's the only way that I see this one. But let me know in the comment section below if you guys disagree or not. What do you think about this Piccolo being, well, nerfed in due time? Let me know in the comment section below. But other than that, have an awesome day / night. Stay safe, and I'm out.